Hi, Mom, and everyone else. We have quite a few new followers. We're super excited about it. Please let us know in the comments down below where you guys are from and what brought you to our channel. Are you looking to move to Panama, or are you just considering it as an option for future retirement purposes? Anyways, let us know in the comments down below. So this week we really didn't get a whole lot done, so I have no real footage to share with you. It's been one of those weeks. It happens now and again. I'm sorry, you guys, but there's a, it's a whirlwind kind of thing. So, but today I wanted to talk to you guys, especially if you're looking to move down to Panama or retire down here. There are some things you're going to need to know. So we lived in Alberta, Canada, and we sold everything we had. We moved down to Panama on August 1st. We had rented a home here. We had been down previously for a holiday. Check the place out. There's a video for that. Help yourself. And then we went home. We sold everything we owned. Video for that. And we arrived here on August 1st. When we came down, we brought 3 months worth of medications with us. My husband, Brad, is an injured vet, and so he does require some medications. And we were here about 3 weeks, and I asked my girlfriend for a phone number for a doctor that she was using at the time. And so he came in. They do house calls down here, by the way. And he came and spent about an hour and a half or 2 hours with us. Very thorough. And he went through all of our history, but our previous lab works were back in November of 2024. So he wanted to get some new updated details. So we went and had the bloods done and all that kind of stuff. So that was about 3 weeks ago, and I just think it's very important that everybody remember, if you are moving to Panama, it is important to remember where you are. This is not Canada. This is not the US. And so things here run differently. But in some instances, not that differently, thankfully. So what happened was, a few days ago, we got a message from our doctor, one we did not expect to ever get. So you guys, there are things down here that you need to be aware of. Things like broken sidewalks. You've got to watch where you're going because the sidewalks can be pretty bad. In Volcan or Panama City, not so much. But in the more rural areas, pay attention to where you're walking. I had a friend who put her foot down in a hole, didn't even see it, and fell down, and she's had all kinds of issues since. So very important to watch where you're walking. And if you're buying a vehicle down here, for example, you need to have your lawyer run the VIN, make sure it hasn't been used in any robberies, and that kind of stuff. Things you wouldn't really think of back home, but this is not there. So it's very important to have a good lawyer and make sure that you are thorough. Things, unfortunately, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and that can cause issues. So make sure you have a good lawyer, discuss everything with him. And I know lawyers are expensive, and they're expensive here too. Not as expensive, but they're not cheap. So but the money it will save you in the end is beyond measure, let's say. one little pro tip before we get back to the doctor situation is there's an app called Waze, W-A-Z-E, Z-Z, whatever you want to call it, Waze, and it's really a cute little app, kind of gimmicky, but it's used everywhere here. Like we use Google Maps back home. Here it's Waze, and on Waze people find a pothole, they'll mark it. If there's cops with a radar, they mark it. So you can always see what's anybody on the side of the highway. It's all on the Waze app, and it's really handy. So I highly recommend using that app. Okay, so another thing that you need to know is when you go out to eat, the beef here is a different breed of cow that they use here than the one that we have back home in Canada and in the States. It's kind of a milk cow looking, maybe it is a milk cow, what do I know? But the meat is quite tough, and unless maybe if you know how to cook it properly, I don't know. But in restaurants, they often will find, you'll find that there's imported meat. And I highly recommend, given the option, you go with the imported meat. But the local meat, national meat, is cheaper, and it's cheaper for obvious reasons. Now, when you're going to raise, for example, the grocers or any Super Baru or any of the grocery stores, their meats are kept in a container, big, like a deli, butcher shop with the big glass things over it. And, but it's just kind of put in there. There's, 50 chickens in there. And you just order what you want out of it. They do have some that is wrapped like you would expect back home, and they're out on the shelves, beef, chicken, that kind of stuff. And so you do have that option. Now, when you go through the till, it's customary to tip the bag boys or girls. I don't know that they get paid. I think they actually live off of their tips, but it's typical to give them 25 or 50 cents, depending on how much they're doing. If they're just bagging it and you're carrying it out, 25 cents. If they carry it to the car for you because it's heavy or there's a lot of it, then it's 50 cents. When we first got here, I was tipping like $1 because that's what I had handy. But they say don't do that because it will affect the economy. I don't understand the details of all of that, but they did say don't do that. Stick to your 25 or 50 cent. So I'm going to personally keep a roll worth of quarters in my purse, because then I have it and I don't have to worry about giving them too much. So when we came here on holiday, we had a rental car, and when we were going to the airport to return it, we took it to the car wash. You take it back in condition that you got it, yada yada. So we stopped at this car wash in David, which is just down the highway from us here in Boquete, and we had like the car wash with the spinner, thingies. The guys get up on the car. They're literally climbing on the car, scrubbing it with, and then you go through the spinner thingies to rinse everything off. Then they pull you up in front, and the girls take over. You get out of the car and you go sit in the little hut, and they will detail the inside of the car. They're very good at it. But be mindful that they don't do your steering wheel because they will make it greasy. Pro tip. I'm all about the pro tips here on this channel. Katie's pro tips. So anyway, when I was mentioning this to my girlfriend, because she said she wanted to go and have her car detailed, and I said, Yeah, that place down, well, it's actually called Magic Car Wash for anyone who's coming this way. It's just off Gringo Corner, they call it, as you're going into David. And it's called Magic Car Wash, and they're really good. The girls go in there, they do all the things, and it's immaculate. And they charge like $10 or $15. It's not even, I don't even think it's $15. And I was saying this to my girlfriend, and she said when they went, they had it done, somebody recommended a place down the bottom of the hill in Boquete, so they took their car there, and it cost them $150. $150. No bueno. So, David, Magic Car Wash, they're $15 max. And they're so thorough and really, really good. And they're out there having a great time. They're laughing and really enjoying what they're doing, which is highly unusual. Anyway, that's another pro tip. So getting back to what the doctor had to say, we got a message from the doctor on Wednesday, I believe it was, or maybe Thursday. Today's Sunday, by the way, and this video should have been out already. Apologies for the delay. So Wednesday or Thursday, we got a message from the doctor, and we were absolutely dumbstruck. Could never have imagined in our wildest dreams. I mean, just never could have imagined. So the doctor's message said, I have to take my mother to the ER. She has fallen. I don't think I can afford the medical bills. Can you loan me some money? You can't make this stuff up. So needless to say, we said no. The man arrived here in sweats and a hoodie with red flames on it. Brad didn't have a thing about, he was not interested in this guy at all, but I said, well, you know, we don't know, maybe that's just normal around here. It's not. So be very, very mindful of even professionals. You can be scammed by anyone down here. So since then, we've found a new doctor who arrived without a driver. He drove himself, and he was wearing scrubs when he got here with a logo for his clinic, and very professional, very nice young man. And he is now our new doctor. And it turns out that once we were going through all the history and the previous blood work and the current stuff, because in Panama, you pay for your medical testing, and they send those papers to you. They don't send it to the doctor. They send it to you, and you send it to the doctor. So we had all of that. And so we showed it to him, and it turns out this guy had said Brad needed to go to this specialist, and he needed this and that and the other thing. None of that. So based on conversations with this previous doctor, he's kind of a network guy. He wanted to know who Brad's massage therapist was. Brad gets massages because of his injuries, and it keeps him mobile. But fortunately, she did not want us to give her number out, so we didn't. But he's a networker, and my impression is that he, sees some gringos coming in, and so he sends you to his buddies, and then he gets a kickback. I don't know this. This is just how I see it. But I'm very, very skeptical of everything medical at this point, including the new doctor. Poor guy. He's so nice, and I think he's going to be okay, but I'll be watching because it's what I do. Anyway, important to know that you can't, just because somebody is a professional, that doesn't mean they're a professional. So be mindful, be cautious, and do not trust until it's earned. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I certainly hope it saves somebody some severe headaches. And keep in mind that you cannot trust somebody just because they are a professional. This is not back home. You can't assume that it is. And I hope it saves somebody some grief. So, more pro tips. We're here every Sunday. Pro Tip Festival. So please remember, leave a comment down below and let me know where you're from. And we're from Saskatchewan, but we moved here from Alberta in Canada, obviously. And my name is Katie. Brad and I are new down here, so we're learning this on the fly and trying to save you guys some grief. Leave a message down below. See ya.